Do it, Agent.
Warning. Now entering a contaminated area.
Hey, what is up, everyone? The LDB is back at it again, coming at you today with my Sentry's Call build for 1.8.3. Now, with this build, I actually went with assault rifles because I feel like it gives you a bit more versatility as you can move around a bit more, you can still face tank a bit, and you can still mark enemies instead of using a marksman rifle and more or less just staying in cover, way in the back, picking your shots. But to each their own, whatever works for you. This is how I've rolled it, and it's been working awesome for me. And maybe this will just kind of give you a different angle to think about when you are building your sentry. So, as always, if you enjoy or find these videos helpful, definitely smash that like button, subscribe for future content if you are new to the channel, make sure you got that notification bell on, and go ahead and drop a comment down there letting everybody know how you've been running Sentry in 1.8.3. So, let's get into it. Alright, so let's go over these skills and talents really quick. Nothing too crazy going on here. We got the booster shot, temporarily increases damage and damage resistance on top of healing you. So in a pinch you can pop this, you get that damage up on top of the damage resistance, and that is an awesome thing. I don't really leave home without it overall. Now moving on, you could always go with a pulse just to get your crit chance and damage up. I was doing this at first, but I realized very quickly that I don't have a lot of resistance on this build, and that is why I'm going with a immunizer. You put this down, and obviously that's going to help you out with the flame turrets. Burn was terrible. That was the main one that was really getting me, so I decided to opt out for the immunizer, and it's been working out nice. Now, other than that, as far as signatures go, you could really go with whatever you want with this build overall. Typically, I would go with a recovery link since I am running solo most of the time, but at the same time, I found that the survivor link works out really nice. When you pop this, like I did at the end if you were watching the gameplay against the bosses, that really does help out. You get your damage resistance and the movement speed as well, so you can kind of flank them a lot faster, and it's been working out awesome. So again, to each their own, whatever you like to use, but that's what I've been going with. So let's go on to the talents. Okay, so as far as talents go, I'm going to be going with critical save. Use that med kit during low health to increase damage resistance by 20%. So if you're really getting lit up in a pinch, you pop that med kit, you get your health back as well as that damage resistance, and that can really help you out a lot. Other than that, I'm going to be going with precision. Headshot a hostile to pulse them for 10 seconds. Pretty straightforward. Get your crit chance and damage up with that. And I'm going to be using steady hands. I really recommend people try this one out. The more I use it, the more I enjoy it. Enter any cover to reduce recoil by 25% for 10 seconds. Now you can just get into cover and get out, or you can stay in cover. Does not matter. This will still be working, and when you have 25% recoil reduction, that is a awesome thing, especially when you're trying to land those headshots. Now moving on to one is none. These all kind of go, I guess, together. The precision, the steady hands, and the one is none, because we're trying to aim for the face, right? Now, headshot a hostile to have a 50% chance of not consuming the bullet. And on a semi-automatic rifle that you're not using a whole lot of ammo up, anyways, this will definitely push that ammo limit to the max. So that's what I've been running with. Let's take a look at the build itself. And here it is. So, as you can see, we have a very nice classified 6-piece sentry build going on here. We have a couple really nice weapons. I got really lucky with these. I can't wait to show you those. The firearms up there, just over 7,000. Primary firepower, 466,000. I'd say we're doing pretty good right there. The stamina, almost 4,500. And the toughness, over 400,000. The electronics at 4,000, so we do have some electronics on this build, and for good reason. With that skill power up to 122,000. So overall, we're doing pretty good here. Let's take a look at what we actually get from Sentry Call, and then we will go on to all of the specifics. Alright, so the 2-piece bonus gives us plus 30% accuracy. That's pretty nice right there. The 3-piece gives us plus 10% headshot damage. Now, really quick about the headshot damage, I know somebody might say something about this in the comments, so I'm just going to go ahead and throw it out there. Kind of just leave it up to you guys what you might want to do, how you might want to build your Sentry Call, and, how you're going to stack your headshot damage, because assault rifles scale a bit higher than other weapons when it comes to headshot damage, unless you are using a marksman rifle, The assault rifle comes with a base of 75% headshot damage on the weapon, whereas per se an SMG comes with a base of 50, and when we have this added headshot damage to the assault rifle, it works out really nice. And again, in my opinion, I think it's basically because of the versatility. Now, marksman rifles basically revolve around headshot damage, right? And come with, 170 plus headshot damage on the weapon. So pushing that even farther is also an amazing thing. I just think that it has to do with personal playstyle and how you run things overall. So just something to think about when you are building your Sentry. How are you going to stack your headshot damage? Now, the 4-piece bonus, moving on, we have the talent Sentry's Call. Headshots using a semi-automatic weapon. Semi-automatic weapon. Doesn't say what kind it has to be, just as long as it's semi-automatic and you hit them in the face. Increases the damage inflicted on the target by 5% for a duration of 30 seconds each. That's pretty nice. 30 seconds is a nice chunk of time. You can play with that. And a target can receive up to 3 marks. So 3 marks at 5% each, that's 15% damage up. You're doing pretty good right there. Now, the 5-piece, we get another 15% accuracy and another 15% headshot damage. So, again, where do you want to stack that headshot damage? Assault rifles or marksman rifles? And the 6-piece gives us the talent Improved Sentry's Call. NPC targets can now receive up to 6 marks. That's a lot of damage. After 1 mark, every headshot on the target has a 50% chance to spread a single mark to additional targets within 25 meters. 25 meters is a pretty big radius. At 6 marks, your headshot damage on the target is increased by 100%. So basically, if I'm going to be, stacking 75% base damage on the assault rifle and then I get those 6 marks, I'm basically hitting at marksman rifle damage. And now if you're using a marksman on the other hand, well then that headshot damage is just through the roof. I mean, it's crazy. So again, think of how you want to run it, but that's what Sentry does. Let's move on to the weapons and then the gear pieces individually. Okay, so on to the weapons. Sorry about that. I just wanted to clear everything up about the headshot damage and, just kind of give you guys an idea of how you might want to stack it as far as your personal preference. I'm going to be going with assault rifles, and my primary is an urban MDR. If you have an MDR at all, any kind at all, it doesn't matter. It will definitely work out awesome with this build. I actually tried with one of my other MDRs that don't have the best talents, and it was still working out really nice. So an MDR is definitely the way to go. You can get them fairly easily. I mean, I get one about once, twice a week. So I mean, if you're playing at all, you should be able to grab one of these. And we have this one maxed out. We have 24% enemy armor damage on there. The per bullet damage, 55.5k. I'd say we're doing pretty good there. And the RPM is 350, so we can really wrap them bullets off pretty fast with a big mag. Now, the talents are really what makes this weapon super, super strong. Again, if you don't have these, it's okay. If you can get destructive on it, I would say overall that's a great one. If you can't get the ferocious destructive combo, it is what it is, but destructive is definitely an awesome thing. Armor destruction value is increased 15%. Ferocious damage against anybody with a yellow bar is increased 10%, as well as distracted. Your damage is increased by 18% against targets with the status effect. So any way that you can shock, burn, bleed, blow something up around you and give them a status effect, it will definitely help out a lot, and you'll be doing that much more damage, especially if you are running with a team. It's really nice when you got like Firecrest on your team and this thing just goes to town on it. I mean, it is awesome. As far as the mods go, I have a magazine with a big mag size on there. We got crit chance and crit damage. The optics is a C79 scope with that 3.4 zoom. With crit damage, optimal range, and crit chance. I'm pushing that optimal range as much as I can because, again, we are not using a marksman rifle, which has that very far optimal range. You can really reach out there with those. This will definitely help you out with that, as well as it does zoom, so you can zoom in and pick those headshots from a distance if you want to. Now, as far as the muzzle goes, we have crit damage, crit chance, and some more headshot damage. Any way you can stack more headshot damage is, again, a awesome thing. And the underbarrel has crit damage, accuracy, and some more optimal range. So that's pretty much it. That's my primary weapon. My secondary is a bullfrog. I'm basically using this just for crowd control overall. You don't have to use a bullfrog. You can really use whatever, as long as it's an assault rifle, since that's what we have rolled on the gloves. You should be doing fine. But this one right here is awesome. We have it almost maxed out. 24% enemy armor damage. Per bullet is 19.3k, so we're doing pretty good there. With that RPM at 946, we're almost at 1,000 RPM with this weapon, and they definitely feel it. And we have a big mag on here. And the talents as well: ferocious, destructive. Again, any way you can get destructive, if you can't get the ferocious as well, or if you can just get ferocious and maybe deadly or something, whatever. But this has really been working out the best for me. And then we have the uncomplicated. Damage is increased by 15%. Accuracy and stability mods reduce this bonus. So on top of everything else, you get 15% damage up, and if you're landing those headshots with it, those numbers just fly and they just fall down. I mean, it is what it is. So overall, those are the weapons. They've been working out really nice for me. Let's go on to the gear pieces individually and see what we got going on there. Alright, the chest piece I have here is rolled for firearms. We have health, enemy armor damage, and ammo capacity rolled on there, so I'd say we're doing pretty good. The mods that we have on here are 2 firearms with damage to elite mods. They're pretty good. They're those plus 210s, but they're only 3% damage to elites. I swear the next time I find firearms 4% damage to elite mods at a vendor, I am buying all of them. I'm buying all of them. That's all I can say right there. Now moving on to the mask, I have it rolled for stamina with enemy armor damage and damage to elites. Pretty good right there. We have a firearms with 4% damage to elite mods right there. I found that randomly, and I'm putting it to use. That extra 1%, hey, it is what it is. Now moving on to the knee pads, we have them rolled for firearms with health, increased kill XP, disorient resistance, and damage to elites. I have it rolled for health because this is more or less a sniper, build more or less, and we are not all that tanky. The toughness is pretty low, so any way that you can push that up a little bit is definitely a good thing. Losing that 9% crit damage that I could possibly have on there is not that big of a deal. I'm still over 100% crit damage, so it is what it is, and the health is definitely the way to go. That increased kill XP is awesome because we get so many caches with this build. It is awesome. Now, I really wish that disorient resistance was burn resistance. That would really make it just perfect, but it is what it is. And then we got that damage to elites again on there as well. And the mods that we have on here are a stamina with damage to elites and a 6% first aid self-heal. I'm going to push that 6% first aid self-heal as much as I can, just on every piece that I can, because we are squishy again. So any way that you can get any extra heal when you pop your first aid is a awesome thing. Now, if you are going to be running with a group and using a pulse, I would say use some crit chance or damage mods on here. But again, to each their own. I've been running the first aid self-heals, and it's been working out nice. Now, moving on to the holster here. It's getting there. We're almost maxed out there. We got the crit chance rolled on there, and we have a 6% first aid self-heal on there. Now, the gloves here, pretty much god roll, I'd have to say. We have them rolled for firearms with crit damage, enemy armor damage, and assault rifle damage on there. I was going to put some crit chance on there, but I said, I'm going to leave that enemy armor damage, and it has not let me down. Push that enemy armor damage as much as you can. It's a great thing. Now moving on to the backpack, it is rolled for electronics with crit damage, ammo capacity, and we have a stamina with 4% damage to elites, yes, and we have 2 6% first aid self-heals on there. So pretty straightforward on that. That is the build overall. Let's take a look at the character sheet and get into all the specifics on that. Alright, so here we go. Just a recap, firearms just over 7,000, the stamina at 4,400, almost 45, and the electronics at 4,000. The weapon damage 55.5 per bullet. That is amazing. The crit chance is pretty low there, but when we have the precision proc, that definitely helps us out a lot. And again, the crit damage is over 100%. I've said it in previous videos. As long as you can break that 100% mark, you're doing good, because when the crit hit lands, it will be doing double damage. So 110% is double damage plus 10%. Now, the headshot damage right there, 126%. That is very nice for an assault rifle, I'd have to say. We're doing pretty good there. The accuracy, 47%. The range, 30 meters, so we can reach out a little bit. Reload time, not too bad. The assault rifle damage bonus, 12%. And we have the damage to elites up to 55%. You drink a water, that's another 20%, so that would be 75% damage to elites, and you just melt through everything. The enemy armor damage, 61%. I mean, I'd have to say we're doing pretty solid right there as well. Now, the skill power, 122,000, so we're right around that soft cap area range right there, and our skills definitely have that extra little oomph to them. Definitely helps us out right there. Now, the toughness, 409,000, but as you can see, the max health, 278,000. This is what I'm talking about being squishy with this build. That's why I had the health on the knee pads, because you really do need it with this build, honestly. I mean, if you're running with a group, that's a little different, but still, I'd say where I'm at right now in a group, you're pretty comfortable. Solo, you're doing pretty good as well. Now, the armor, we're getting there. It's almost maxed out, 32.3, health regen, so on and so forth. We do not have any kind of resistance other than disorient. Oh, it's a bummer. That is the downside of the build right here. The resistance section is absolutely terrible. Hopefully you can do a little bit better than me. I'm sure you can. But when you spec for the damage to elites and things like that, it's a little bit tougher to do. But other than that, that is it, guys. That is the build in a whole. I hope you enjoyed or found something helpful, took something away from it. If you did, definitely smash that like button, subscribe for future content if you are new to the channel, and go ahead and drop a comment down there letting everybody know how you've been running Sentry in 1.8.3. So until next time, guys, I will see you then. You take it easy. Later.